West. Let's get started.
Let's get this party started. I am very excited to see what the teams can do today. They've now had 2 days to study rotations. They've had 2 days to study these circles, how teams react. They've got a big enough of a sample size, at least here in Erangel, Dave, where I feel like they can start to make some of these better decisions. I think Miramar, I think Sandhawk, I think those are still a bit of a crapshoot, but I'm really looking towards these Erangel games because, as you said, this makes up a huge portion of our map pool.
Yeah, Sandhawk, Miramar, since we only have 4 in total, 2 more to go, it's one of those maps, or 2 of those maps, that it's just like, okay, let's just try not to die. Let's get some placement points and maybe some kills. But really, that Erangel, like you said, 60% of that map pool is where a lot of these teams are going to look to really tighten up their gameplay to make sure that they can play as consistent as possible and get as many points as possible. So, players dispersed out the plane. We got Team Queso, we got Onyx down there. They're tried and true. A main story since day one. I'm going to keep bringing it up, Paul. I have to. Ghost and guns. Pachinki. Every single Erangel match. It's been hot and cold when it comes to those 2 squads. And I already see the indicators. Yep, they're blinking. And it looks like there might be some action down there.
Already starting things off hot. Game number 1, day number 3. I see a 63 at the top of our screen, Dave, which means one player has already hit the dirt. It is Lord, the player they were calling out of the endless desk. We hope Lord can step up today. Well, it ain't this game, that's for sure. That was just a hard hot drop.
Yeah.
That was just a hard hot drop. Oh, no.
Stepping into the Uzi. I don't know if that's the stepping they were talking about. And HH24 now, swapping over to AKM, taking some shots on the Moody. Down pretty low in the health department. And immediately, Guns already at a disadvantage just because they have lost 1 in the process. So if I'm them, they're slowly on the climb, right? Yesterday, slow climb up that leaderboard. They've been getting points every single game. If I'm them right now, I don't think I'm going to commit to this fight. I think I'm going to get that loot and try to evacuate safely, maybe reposition, or maybe just kind of gather together and have the potential to guard each other's backs because they can't afford to get taken out this early on.
And to contrast that, Ghost can't afford not to get these kills. Ghost Gaming, the hope of really, I think, of North America here, the American fans in particular, 14th place. Half the score, essentially, of that number 1 team. Not at all where they want to be, not on that front page. So we're going to see if they're going to push this even further. They're doing the rooftop jumps. Don't worry, Bayo, no one saw that. And they're going to try to pick up these early kills, because if they can clear out not only this area to set up their rotational path a little easier, but to get these 4 points, if they can start to consistently do that to bully out their opponents, that could set them up for a lot of success over the next few days.
They need it.
They think somebody's in that shack. There's not, but they don't know that.
Hey, clear it out. And when we look at Guns, they already sent one of their squad mates out over there to those Gatka chopsticks. So I have to assume the other 2 squad mates looking to make that same play without getting taken out in rotation. But I agree with you 1,000%. Like, if I'm Ghost Gaming right now, USA, we average around 5.7 points per game. They need to get these points. They have to kind of get a little aggressive here early game to really start to climb up that leaderboard. I agree with you, Paul.
And this is something that we've seen other North American teams do, particularly in things like the PMPL North America. I think back to XSET, a team who would constantly take these early game fights when there's less pressure on them from a third party, less pressure from the circle, and they'd accumulate a lot of early game points to help, boost them going into the late game for placement. And yeah, sometimes they'd lose 1 player, but it was often worth it because they were consistently getting squad wipes. I think if Ghost Gaming can start to get into that mindset here that they need to be more aggressive early, if you basically just start the game with 4 points. Yeah. You're just starting the game off with an objective advantage, assuming you can take the fight every time. And I think given how a lot of these early game scraps here have gone, Ghost has 100% been the victor, so there's no reason to think they can't continue to take it, at least until Guns snaps back.
Even if we're looking at Ghost and, for example, say they do play that aggressor role and they lose 1 in the process, but they get those 4 points, like, that's exactly. If they could do that every single Erangel match, I'll be mighty happy. As long as that 1 player isn't Tensa, right? Because yesterday, Tensa definitely coming in clutch for Ghost Gaming when they were forced in those tight situations. And they came out on top a couple of times. So yeah, if I was to make sure not to lose a player, yeah, you tend to, yeah, I'm gonna watch your back. But looking around here, bigger picture, as that fight seems to have sizzled out. For me personally, today's the last day, and I kind of hit on it already. Today's that last day that I'm going to be looking at those teams at the bottom. We talked about Ghost a little bit. We got Onyx. By the way, I went to the esports center in game. I voted for Onyx today. I cheered. I used my points for Onyx today. Hopefully I can double those points. They got a chicken yesterday, but they're still dead last. So Onyx, Godsent, Clash, Ghost Gaming, those 4 teams dead bottom. Today's the last day I'm going to be looking at them, Paul. They have to do something.
They do. And to be fair, though, to Team Onyx, they went from 4 points to 41 points. They 10x'd their day one performance. Probably one of the single best overall performances increases we've seen. We're starting to see some action break out here on the kill feed, and it's your pickup there. Godsent getting another kill. This time it's on to Nexria Gaming, caught out on the road. Bit of an awkward rotation there. But to be fair, Dave, this is one of the few Western circles we've really seen. We've seen a lot of far north, a lot of south, as of yesterday, a lot more out towards the east. But we haven't had a lot of these Western circles so far. And I think this is really testing teams on a different rotational path and clearly getting a little bit caught out there.
And you know who this zone favors big time? Onyx. Primordial.
Oh yeah.
Worry, that's their spot. If they play their cards right, they could get some good points and maybe even keep all 4 alive, have that fighting chance to get that winner chicken dinner. But I agree with you. This zone, west side, you know? I mean, we are in the West League, so it's about time we get that West circle shift. We got Destiny up top. They're going to be making their way in. We have a couple teams out there to the east, still not in the zone. Konina Power, Rod, Loca Nostra, Shivas, and of course, can't count them out, Alpha 7. So we might have some clashes over there on that east side. But for now, looks like the majority of the squads starting to center up, starting to claim some compounds, some terrain for themselves, and we'll see how this one plays out.
And we're going back to this scuffle once again. It's Guns and Ghost. And this reminds me, again, it's not just the 4 kill points you're getting if you're Ghost, you take this fight early. You are denying this team that's suddenly going to be right on top of you. They could have potentially dealt with this squad earlier. And now they're going to have to take this fight when Guns is a lot more kitted. They've got position, potential to take out a player unsuspectingly, though Ghost is aware of their location. So I'm definitely going to keep an eye on that from Ghost over these next 2 days. But I agree, Dave, they've got to step up here. And as I look towards sort of these overall scores from the last 2 days, the thing that's really jumping out at me is I feel like we're like in a Katy Perry track. We're hot and cold. Teams that did really well on day number 1 struggled on day number 2, and all the other teams did the opposite. It doesn't feel like anybody has been able to put up super consistent performances over both days. So hopefully we can start to see that consistency lock in for these last 2.
We'll see. And not only that, like first through, I would even say 12th, it's pretty open. There's a point. Yeah, 40 points. It sounds like a lot, but at the same time, considering we still got 10 more games to go, that's not a lot. So it's totally open, and kind of to add on to your point, teams have been hot and cold. So if today's another one of those days, those 40 points, well, that gap is going to be extremely tight coming into that last day. So prime example, Destiny, they are at the top. They had a little point lead, coming into yesterday, but they're playing chutes and ladders. They just slid down yesterday, currently in 6th place. So we'll see what Destiny can accomplish here today. One thing, though, they're going to have to accomplish not getting backstabbed from Alpha 7 on their rotate up there towards the north.
Yeah, as they're heading towards Everest, that one could be a little bit dangerous. More dangerous for nawnaw, though, who rolled into the wrong neighborhood as Konina Power was already entrenched here. Pocus with that hard Yui, just getting right on out of there. And, well, the scouting was there's people there, Dave. They know that now.
That they do. They definitely know that. And that quick U-turn just in time. You don't want to lose all your squad mates. That would be horrible, as they are going to be all in their vehicles. The thing is, okay, they made it out alive, but they are driving right toward Clash. They're driving right towards Team Queso. And I already see Konita Power pop in those vehicles. They're on the pursuit. So UDR, they're going to get sandwiched here very shortly.
Yeah, UDR had a pretty solid day yesterday. They were looking pretty good. Their long-range fire in particular, I noticed, did really well for them. They were able to do well at those mid to long-range scraps. But like we saw there, when they rolled up, not having quite as much, Konita Power able to get the jump on them. But speaking of getting the jump, Yekta, again, the player I felt like we didn't get to talk about enough, but a player whose numbers were absolutely staggering for Nextria Gaming. This player, Dave, he's caught out here. Do they know? Oh, now they do.
Now they do.
Now they do. And he ruined his chance of surprise, but he's still able to turn it? Are you kidding me? He was going for the thirst, but great little team play there from Will, the players from the UK. Oh, my goodness, the old buddy system. There's no way he should have won that fight. He completely whiffed the opening salvo and was still able to turn that around. That's the play I'm talking about, Dave.
At that point, Daddy already passed you, didn't even look in the closet.
I would have.
Yeah, exactly. And you might have heard those other footsteps on the outskirts. Like, they didn't know you were there. Like, just let it be. Just count your lucky stars. And I guess, the temptation for the one kill point, just too strong right there. And we saw what happens. But back to that UDR kind of combo we were having a couple of moments ago. I reached out to Pokas last night. After the games, we saw the sick pull up with the UMP, the 1v3.
Oh, yeah.
And to kind of tie it into what we saw moments ago from nawnaw, they told me that they want to play more aggressive here today. So I can see it. Like, I can see it with that last play, but I don't know. I don't know. Yesterday, their main play style was finding a prime power position early game, holding it throughout the mid game, and then showing up late game with 3 or 4 alive. I feel like just stay with that strategy. It worked out pretty well yesterday. Personally, I don't see a reason to kind of flip that script here today when we are talking UDR specifically.
Yeah, and like I said, they've done well at these mid to long range fights, but maybe being able to add that in, I can't really hate on it, Dave, because it's a team that hasn't had chicken dinner. While you're absolutely correct, they definitely looked a lot better yesterday than day number 1. They've still yet to claim that chicken, so I can't really fault them for wanting to just put the pedal to the metal. It's the play to win, play to not lose strategy. Again, we'll see if it pays off for them, but I can't hate on the gusto as we're seeing teams moving with just that as the circle has hard shifted down to the southwest. Onyx, who've been set up all game long, are about to have some company. Dave, this bag of Skittles is getting shaken up.
Shake it, man. And if I'm Onyx, yeah, exactly. I'm not going to go into quarry, but use those hills, especially the ones on the edge out there to that west. They're going to have a nice vantage over those marshes up there to the north that it looks like Alpha 7. They're going to be deciding to drive through. Onyx, because their drop spot is over here, they just had first dibs pretty much on all of these zones. So I'm really hoping that they can take advantage of it.
Taking advantage of a free kill is Ghost Gaming, catching out multiple members of Guns on the road. And just like that, they finished what they started. They said, don't worry, Venom, we hear you. We don't need to kill them early game because we're just going to kill them in the mid game. All right, Ghost, I hear you. I hear you. And they did it so cleanly. Did he just do that from the car?
Pull up. Yeah, 3 members of Ghost. That's a risky play because all it takes is a couple bullets and that thing is gone. But they were able to get the confirm, get some points, 4 points to be exact on the board. They have a nice little decent position, all alive. They're holding down these angles. We were talking about them, Ghost. Like, today's the day to do something. And as of right now, they're doing it, Paul.
I'm getting flashbacks to game 1 of yesterday where they also looked incredibly strong. And it's that, don't do that to me. Don't give me hope kind of moment where I'm looking at this Ghost Gaming roster thinking maybe today they stepped up because I called for them yesterday. I made big predictions about how much better they were going to look. And then after that very first game, they really didn't. But, oh, Bayo, next shot. We don't see Bayo with the sniper as often. I actually don't say that I hate it, though.
Winning it out. And yesterday was, I believe, their best game, like you said. And then they kind of hit that brick wall when we looked at their Sandhawk match. And then, of course, we saw Tensa get bolted out of the moving vehicle yesterday as well. Don't want to be on that end of the highlight reel, but today's the day. Today is the day. 4 kills. I believe they're going to be leading the pack when it comes to kills this game. And popping it back over there to UDR. More drive-bys happening from Konina Power.
Also interesting to note as well that Nextria Gaming has been eliminated. Yet I look and it's like 1 point, 1 point, 1 point, 1 point for all these different teams. Well, Ghost did a full squad wipe. Like Nextria just got beat on by everybody. Like that's so strange that you don't see that happening very often. Whatever happened to their rotations this game, they need to shake that off because it did not work for them. So seeing Konina Power now getting forced out by UDR Killers, smoke wall in the blue, but this is looking very bad for them, Dave.
Big bad, because they were tied with Nextria for that first place, 106 points. And now it looks like both first and second place is going to be wide open for the taken when we're looking at Alpha 7, when we're looking at Shivas in game number 1. I do believe Konina Power still have a duo, but with this circle shift, still 13 other squads alive, a duo, well, you're going to need to hit them shots.
This is one of those teams you were talking about, Dave, looking to do just that. It is Chivas. They did take down Will. Loca Nostra. Konina Power is losing more players. Not looking great for them. So keep an eye on this play as Alpha 7's potentially going to roll up as well. Chivas is the only hard cover right now, but these nades could still spell disaster. That's one of the downsides of those Wizard Tower Daves. Once those nades go in, it's very hard to dodge them.
Oh, that couple of smokes can block those windows, those sight lines, and allow any team to roll up and get really close within grenade range, kind of like what we're seeing right now from Savage. Savage is able to toss these grenades for free, basically, because this hill is just blocking those sight lines from Shiva. So that cover, although you might feel safe, well, your sight lines on that hill are bare to none.
You can see Daddy going for that crawl on the flank, looking to find another angle, while the rest of his team draws their attention. But it is a 3v4. And Fran is doing a fantastic job of covering this additional angle. However, gets caught out. Daddy was able to pop up. He got distracted by another team. This is the opening, the opportunity that Loca Nostra needs in order to break this down, because this would be a really nice power position for them to have, Dave. Looking at this next circle right on the edge, especially if they need to fight up against Alpha 7.
No, Jacob! No, not like this.
Not like this.
I wouldn't be surprised if Alpha, they hear the mayhem and they just straight up send it to third part of this fight. This is like the best opportunity for Alpha to claim some points.
I mean, this is it. This is your chance right here. Loca Nostra's taking a ton of damage. Fran, the last one standing with a scrap of HP. Why is it always Fran? And here comes Alpha 7, the roll-up. Dave, you called it. Let's get some points, they say. There's like 7 right there on the table, ripe for the taking. If Alpha 7 can go and get involved. Daddy's just trying to survive on the first floor. Chivas is going to be able to get the revive, and I spoke too soon because those nades came on in, but it was Alpha 7 who reaped the rewards.
Yeah, exactly. Loca Nostra, they might have got a couple points, but they pretty much swapped positions with Shivas on that wipe, and now they're the ones pinned down. Alpha 7 pretty much wrapping around this tower. It's, yeah, you're not going to make it on out alive. Alpha 7 taking full-on advantage of the situation right there. That's perfect.
I mean, I know this team is from Brazil, but they just went full American. They were fishing with dynamite. They were just throwing nade after nade through that window, and they got 2 squad wipes with it. Absolutely sick, because we're jumping on board with Destiny versus Clash, Germany versus France. I don't watch a lot of, football, but I feel like goal seeing these nades coming on in.
Well, let's see. It's not over yet. Here comes the blue zone to apply some pressure. 2v1, Clash inside the shack. They were able to defend their building for now. They lost 2 in the process, and they're currently getting kind of peppered on from across the way. They're going to have a long journey to make it into the zone. I believe that's either Godsent or 19E trying to pop some tires. Yeah, Godsent up there. They're just watching this, and Godsent, they're probably going to wait this one out just a little bit to see if they can confirm these points out here on the edge of the zone.
I gotta give props. Godsent's another one of these teams that just finds these power positions and just plays them back and just gets involved at range from all these other fights. They do such a good job of doing that, of just getting pickup kills here and there without risking themselves too much. Like we're seeing a bit of a risky play right now. The roll up onto Team Onyx, and Master not getting caught out this time. It's Team Queso with their pants down. Beautiful play there coming in from Onyx. It's exactly what they need to do, but Rima was able to come in on the backside, and now Onyx has taken a little bit more damage than I think they wanted. Dave, here comes the nade.
Yeah, let's see. could be big. It will inflict a couple points of damage, but honestly, in this situation, 3v1, Rima gonna be popping in. Another attempt at a drop shot. Master not able to come out clutch, but their squad mates 9 able to hit those final shots. And I was gonna say, we saw this a lot of times yesterday from Team Queso, just the YOLO crashes and see if it works. And honestly, it has not been working. They lost 2. They lost 2 just crashing into that warehouse. Master prone with the UMP. They didn't even see that one coming. So maybe Team Queso pump the brakes a little bit, scout it out a little more, if I had to give them a little bit of advice.
Yeah, I think at this point, they're just getting so late in the game, and they haven't done enough of a job of scouting throughout the interim of the mid to late. It's just been chaotic. They've been taking fights, but I got to give props to this last player from Godset. You talked to Nuggets, wanting to make it to the top 5.
Top 5 at the end of the 20 games, not top 5.
Sure.
There's still time.
Yes.
There's still time.
I was going to compliment his gatekeeping, and then he just turns and runs, and just that shot dead, like, if I'm going down, I'm taking you with me, says Clash, because they did such a good job of keeping them out there in the blue, denying those points, but not quite able to see it through. Ghost Gaming, though, looking like a brand new team here on day number 3, Dave. They've got all 4 players alive. They've got a bunch of kills to their name. They are looking dangerous.
Oh, okay. Got a Texa up there, popping on to 9. Master. Listen, a couple points of health. Trying to get these sprays with the Scar. Oh, for the reload. Onyx, they are just extremely separated right here.
Getting third-partied for good measure. As Alpha 7 is looking to continue to get involved. Playzone going to work as well. That's Clash going to be going down, making it to the top 8. Skonita Power still surviving with this duo. Had some bad luck earlier on, but able to make the best of it. As Alpha 7's up here on the high ground, another one of these teams who've had high expectations for, continuing to keep all 4 players alive. Master will get confirmed, which leaves Onyx with 2. UDR on the outside. Ghost comes in as well. 19 in the mix. Dave, a lot of these teams we have high expectations for, all left up alive, all with basically full squads. This is getting hype.
Yeah, you see where Alpha is? This is where I would have liked to have saw Onyx take position, considering they had first dibs, and I was kind of saying they should go up there. Maybe they saw Team Queso and they decided to crash it. I mean, Master was camping that compound after all, but we can see camping inside a quarry, you just open yourself up to just getting stuck down there and bogged down because now we got Ghost. Now we got Alpha 7 just looking down there straight. It's like a tunnel. It's just 3 points coming out that end of the tunnel.
Like I said, Dave, fishing with dynamite. I know exactly what they need to be doing, exactly what they need to be aiming at. As Alpha 7's all starting to take the fight with Ghost Gaming. Great covering fire there from Fashe. Able to get his teammate out, do decent amount of damage. That was a great little piece of team play that could still get backstabbed by Onyx, but Alpha 7 maybe taking too many fights here. As there is the backstab from Onyx. It did end up coming in. Nice little play there, as I believe Konina Power is down and out. Great little play from Onyx to continue to get involved. This Alpha 7, Dave, they are fighting everyone.
6 kills, 4 alive so far. Looking to reposition on the opposite end of the terrain though. Ghost Gaming also 4 alive with 7 kills. So Alpha looking to take this bull, this dip, but RTG, they're so consistent with showing up to late game healthy, feeling good with 4 or 3 members alive. Let's see what they can do there on the edge.
They always slip under the radar, Dave.
They're always there.
How they're able to do this. But Ghost Gaming continuous with the drive-by. Xenox, though, so much work, but it's not quite enough. As Ghost Gaming are able to take away this position, Tensa just dropped. Konina Power finally does go down. It's all down to G-Fan and Acer. G-Fan and the duo always survives. Great shots coming in from Acer. That was Ghost Gaming with 3 players down. It all comes down to Bayo. A couple of big nades, though, and 19E are pushing this, Dave. They know what they need to do.
Wow, just open field. Looks like they do have that smoke deployed to block those sight lines. They're right on top of Ghost. Bayo pulling back from that boulder, calling off that revive. Now behind the tree, looking to get the retaliation in this 1v1 against Acer.
But RTG is looking to get involved on the outside. Nade is primed, throwing it. Not quite predicting where Acer is, though. But this is just giving Acer a little bit more intel. He's got these smokes to work with, but Dave, they're not going to last forever.
Onyx still alive. There we go. The Acer clutch. We've seen Acer in the past.
Oh, yeah.
They know how to hit them grenades, and almost as quickly as that fight's done, RTG now forced to defend their compound, their shacks from Alpha 7.
But Alpha 7 does have this next circle. RTG are going to have to push out. And I love how David always comes down to this Ghost, this NA rivalry here. This Ghost Gaming, though, with those 15 points. Absolutely stellar play from them. As we're going to see also Onyx still up and in this. Props to Onyx up there on the high ground. Going to continue to lay down some... never mind. Never.
Fourth place.
Good.
All right. 8 points. So, good for them.
Oh, just like this, though, Dave. RTG on that road to glory, just taking over this map. Marshall is not slowing down. That's 2 players from Alpha 7 dropped. It all comes down to Revo, who we've seen go absolutely clutch in the past. It was a 1v3. Can he make it a 1v4? As Acer's still out there on the outside, potentially looking to play spoiler, but they've got a sense of where this player is. Here come the nades, and that is going to be it. Oh no, Davey survives!
Not anymore. I love that. We saw Senke was able to use that cover to TPP, get the intel, and their squad mates were able to use that ridge to rotate around and catch them off guard. So now they're going to show up. They got 4 alive. Oh, now 3 alive. Acer, okay. 1v3. Can't Acer pull that clutch?
I mean, this one's going to be tough. He's got absolutely no cover to work with, and all 3 players are pushing in. That's just going to be it. That's just going to be GG. And just like that, RTG pick up a chicken dinner. Beautiful play, Dave. You called it. They show up to the late game. They're happy, healthy, moisturized, in their lane, looking for kills. They're having a